Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Second Harmonics. Today I'm going to talk about my Hayley Williams tour. Finally, it's more of a review of that concert I went to last week. But before I dive in, a little bit of a fun fact of this particular weekend. I did quite a bit of these things. I upgraded that guitar. It's a little bit different now. You can see like the Pecker's colors tortoise. But I'm probably gonna make another video about that. But that's another fun fact. Went to Bay to Breakers today. Extremely fun. And this is actually my first time filming in an evening or night. So hopefully the lighting is a little bit better. I got a fun feedback from a friend saying, "Oh, you instead of using a natural lighting from the sun or your window, just use your actual light, LED from your room." So yeah, first time filming with that. Usually it's just been a natural light for me. But anyways, that's a fun icebreaker for this week. But yeah, let's get started with the review. So this tour is a little bit special for me. It's special for me and special for Hayley probably. This is her first ever solo tour, and she was planning to do the first solo tour, but I think she couldn't do it because of the COVID. So after that, this is her first solo tour. And that's why mostly for this spring batch, I guess it's been a little bit in the small venues. I'm not gonna complain because I love when this big artists perform at small venues, and I actually can get a ticket for that. But lucky enough, I got this ticket in Oakland. First off, venue. It was Fox Theater in Oakland. It was actually pretty good venue. AC'd, which I really appreciated because sometimes the floor or standing could be very stuffy and hot. But I was even wearing a hoodie, but I didn't really feel that stuffy or anything. It was just perfect. And then acoustics. I have something to say about this, so I'm gonna save this acoustics for later. Stage was pretty good. It gave like I was pretty front in the stage, in front of the stage, in the standing, so I could see everything pretty good. Hayley was literally right in front of me ish, I guess. Not that far away, and I'm surprised she brought a lot of sessions. She toured with Paramore. Maybe I'm not too surprised, but I was still kind of surprised because she specifically mentioned this is going to be a little bit decoupled with Paramore. But anyways, not gonna complain about good sessions on her band. So yeah, so that was my first just blasting facts about this concert. But yes, it was a little bit a special moment for me because she's, as I talked about in previous episodes, she is the ideal female vocal for me, and she's probably my favorite vocalist. Um, just both combined, like in any of genres or female and male, she's just my favorite vocalist. So yeah, so obviously Hayley Williams is the vocal of Paramore. She's famous for having amazing live performances, powerful vocals, and everything. But I'm surprised she does even is her first solo career tour. But anyways, it was very very special for me, and then I bet it was special for her as well. I think she got pretty emotional during the shows. She actually kind of teared up. So, well, good to know it was something special for the artist as well, not for only the fans. The album, the set list of this particular tour, it's she only pulled songs from this her newest release album, the Ego That Bachelorette Party. But I think the Hayley Williams show that's going to be in this fall or after this tour is over, Um, and it will probably going to cover a lot of songs from her previous albums as well. Ticketing was this week. Well, it's gonna be last week by the time that this video is released. But unfortunately, I couldn't get one. It was very competitive. I don't even know how I got this tour's ticket, but anyways, I was not as lucky as this tour. But maybe, who knows, the lawn, the far away section is still available for the Shoreline Amphitheater, which is the NorCal. So maybe I'll go to that. I think the ticket is pretty cheap, $35, and still available. So if I feel like it, I think I might go. Or I can convince quite a bit of my friends who lives in South Bay. But anyways, that's that. Still available. Check it out, guys. If you guys still want to see or listen to her perform live. But yeah. Anyways, this upcoming show will cover her previous albums, and she has pretty good songs there. But this particular tour or show I'm gonna review today in today's video, she did not sing any songs from her previous album. It was only this album. So I kind of went blind in a set list. I knew that she's only going to perform the songs from the Ego at the Bachelorette party. But I didn't know what the order of the set list will be. Like, I kind of like doing that because I don't really want to be spoiled of what's like the finale songs and all that kind of things. And plus, I've been listening to this album ever since the release, so I genuinely know what's going on. So I only went in with the fact that she's only gonna perform the albums or songs from this newest album. And she opened with Ice in My OJ, which is, I think, first track of her song this album. But well, honestly, great choice. It's a part. Oh no, she opened with Mirtazapine. Yes, she opened with that. That's my bad. She opened with Mirtazapine. But honestly, great intro. That song is probably the most hardcore, closer to hardcore genre related song from this album. And it was great to hype up the audience as a first song. And you know, by the end of the song, she just like kind of goes screams like the hardcore kind of thing. But honestly, great energy, enough to pump up the audience. And it was a very electric way to start our this show. And like, something I really appreciated about her live performance was some artists, not every artist, but every artist has different way of interacting with audience or just kind of doing their performance. Some of them are just really dead focused on their singing or instrument. But Hayley well, her vocal's amazing, but she was very active. Her body motions and everything was very active, and then very acrobatic, just energetic, I guess. She was very like violently moving. So with that combined with her style, for especially for songs like your Josephine, I I think that kind of delivered her excitement and the mood of that song to the audience very well. So really appreciated that. And then it really fitted the vibe of herself, really. And then this, I think, is very personal album for her. So yes, so that was great. It's just really appreciated the fact that it just delivered emotions, and then everything as well, including her vocals and a band and everything. So that was pretty good. And then it's a very good hook too. So that was very nice. Um, One thing I want to also mention is the performance itself. Um, the band, I, I mentioned in the opening as well, but it was very tight and dynamic. Of course, they're good like instrument players. They're known, and then they've been touring with her for a while now. Since because they travel with the Paramore, but they're I this is my first time listening to them live, but they are very capable. They're great, actually. The guitarist, Brian, um, he ripped during Kill Me solo. Uh, that was probably my favorite moment. Also, his guitar solo, very energetic. And it's just he knows how to rip when it comes to the solo, and then when he needs to. A lot of sessions, they knew how to use multiple instruments. Hayley herself played guitar and piano, and then one of the members actually switched between bass and also synthesizer as well. And yeah, that was exciting to see. I really like it when one person just switches between multiple instruments, and then that delivers the vibe of the song or the mood of songs. It's just impressive as someone who's learning to play, who learned and learning to play instruments. I know how hard it is to do that professionally and proficiently in front of everyone. So just amazing to see that every single time. I'm appreciated when someone does that. But this particular show, they were really good about using the instrument to deliver the vibe of the songs properly, and or depending on what type of instrument will fit that mood of the songs. For example, if it's like Dream Girl and Shibuya, it's like a more of a calm song versus something like Kill Me or Mertes Fiend. If it's like kind of like a more of a exciting part of the song, they knew how to change the instrument usage and the tools that comes with the instruments. So I really appreciated that. And then how dynamic the delivery and the change was so done. The change was done aptly. So that was also great. And Haley's vocal. What can I say? It's just Hayley. Whenever when it's a calm song, she just that focused. She was usually playing piano when during her calm, like kind of more toned down song. And then she was kind of focused on emotional delivery. When it was kind of a active song like Mortizvi, Kill Me, Showbiz, she was just moving around and active, and it really delivered. So that was great. I need to talk about the stage design. There was basically a white bunch of white curtains, lamp. It was kind of a hanging light, uh, everywhere in the stage, and also standing lights with the covers of the white blankets. Kind of gave me like a little bit of a hospital vibes, kind of psychiatric hospital or something like that. Maybe that's what she targeted for. I didn't really look into it, but you just go in there and look at it, you'll be like, this kind of looks like a haunted house. But once she started the performance, I think that delivered really well because she used the lighting so amazingly. Um, uh, let's say that stage darkens, and then she pretty much there were multiple lights on the stage, and then she kind of cycled through the lightings to match the beat of the songs when the song was starting. Sometimes that was kind of was just kind of stuck in my memory as a visual, and then that was probably the most memorable thing. And she kind of used this entire stage or staging storyline of this concert as kind of like a radio show. I thought that was pretty interesting. I think a lot of artists are doing that more, uh, but I don't know. I definitely think it's a interesting format, but it kind of reminds me of Dawn FM from the weekend. Um, m- Maybe that's, I don't know if that really is original, but it's kind of showing, beginning, middle to the end. The weekend does such amazing job of doing that in the entire Dawn FM album. But I just wanted to say that uh, she also tried to use that kind of storyline for this entire set list or the performance, I think. I mean, at least that's the impression I got. Because after her like official you know um first main part of the show, before she goes to do all the encores and stuff like that, there was like this light going on flickering and then saying, oh, like this is like the radio, end of the radio, and then like how about more couple more songs and things like that. And before we got started, the show got started, there was this entire monologue from the radio guy talking about just kind of like emotional things. And yeah, so I think she was trying to kind of deliver that kind of message. I kind of have to think about that a little bit more. But it's just kind of always what I'm saying, trying to say is it's just kind of interesting to see when the artists design their concert and show, what is their main message that they're trying to deliver. Because um, usually artists tour because of the new album, but album is, there's obviously some visual aspect because you can buy album and see that, or but I think album is kind of like a maybe 1.5 dimensional. I don't know if that's a right thing to say. A way of delivery of your purpose for this album, but the show concert is more of a three-dimensional experience where you get to see things or story like just like kind of like a movie, live action from beginning to end, and then they can try to express their true purpose and then true meaning behind what that album. So I don't know. I think that's just kind of interesting thing to pay attention versus when you're only listening to the album versus you're in concert or tour and then trying to see what they're trying to convey. But obviously for this tour, I think it was a lot of emotional or psychological meaning there. Just trying to like get through. Let's all get through hard things, my emotions together, and then yeah, I thought, I honestly thought she did pretty well on that. Now, like I think back, maybe I should think a little bit more. Maybe that was just more solid. But anyways, it was really interesting to see that. And like as the show progressed, one thing I really want to highlight is I listened to this album, but I really never, because I usually just play album in sequential order. I never like really mix it in different orders. But I kind of didn't know what to expect after one song to the another. Um, but more and more I listen, more and more like the new songs came after, like throughout the shows. I'm like, wow, how many good songs does this album have? It's kind of insane that this didn't win Grammys. Like it was in the same category as like the Turnstile album, which all I really like too. But there's just so many good songs here. And like every single time I like the new songs play, I'm like, wow, damn, this is my one of my favorite song. And then another song comes in, I'm like, wait, this is my favorite song from this album. It's just there's so many good songs in this. So yeah, I think I mentioned before the title of this album, the song "Ego that the Bachelor Party" is my favorite song from this album. Um, honestly, the beginning part kind of hit different during this show because it started with like ignition and things, and then Haley's like, "Oh yeah, let's go Oakland," and she was definitely hyping that one up. But I think like honestly, whenever I listen to her live performance or just kind of see her live performance in YouTube for this particular album, my favorite song listening to live is "Good Old Days." Uh, she does like a little bit of this like swingy dance kind of thing, dance moves, um, and then I think really she really enjoys doing this song as well live. So like I kind of felt that energy from her. Like the Rolling Stones stage she did with the bleachers. She also did the similar thing, and I'm like, wow, that's so good live. That looks so amazing live, and she kind of delivered a similar way in the show as well. So I also thought that probably was my favorite part of this concert. So yeah, that gotta say, I was just wanted to say that this album has so many good songs, but my favorite listening to live is Good Old Days. The most popular one is Parachute, I know, but my favorite personally listening to live is Good Old Days, and just listening. My overall favorite is probably Ego that the Bachelorette Party, and the best instrumental song was Kill Me for me. So there's a lot of favorites there. Anyways, just kind of like details about what I liked the most about this show and what was so amazing. Um, okay, so maybe that's. Oh, another thing. Um, there's like about 20 songs in this album, and it just shifts. The genre shifts so much. Like it spans from alternative rock, which is, and pop rock, which is I guess what Paramore is. A little bit of hardcore, folk, shoegaze even, a lot of like guitar noise kind of things, and folk like Dreamgirl and Shibuya, I guess something like that. I guess that's kind of in between shoegaze and folk. I don't know. That one's a little bit interesting because, and another thing I realized is she used a lot of vocal effector for this album. Um, Ice and OJ in my OJ does that, and that's the only thing that's kind of in your face like vocal effector song when you're listening to it in album or through recording. But if you listen to her songs live, and also it was just how I think it was delivered in general, um, it was a lot of vocal effectors. So I thought that was interesting. I guess maybe that's kind of touching into shoegaze aspect, but um, I don't know what the story behind that one is, but it's just this album in general because it spans so many genres in general in a band music. It's a fun album to listen in. It's kind of like a roller coaster. You're in this upside of a band music where it's like just go go go, hardcore, and there's like that bottom like trough of uh the rock music or band music because she's kind of in the folk side. So, you know, like every concert it has, that, but it was kind of impressive that how she was able to do that and then kind of lay the set list for one single concert based off of one album, and then I guess this album has 20 songs. So, but like none of them are a bad song. It's great. So yeah, she did a great job on this album. Definitely spent some times, and then um yeah, she also mentioned that she was pretty emotional about uh how she wrote this album, and then it means something to everyone as well. Obviously, a lot of personal stories. I know that one, but yeah, I guess it was something special, and you can tell that she actually spent a lot of times and attention for this work, this piece of work. So it was great. It definitely meant something. You can definitely tell it was a lot of personal things in this album for her. Uh, yeah, and then it was pretty much I think it delivered well. Uh, I said I'm gonna talk about mixing, so here we go. I think it's a good time to switch up. My gripe is mixing. This is my only gripe for this concert. So, like, instruments were great. There, I can hear the drums, bass, keyboard, synthesizer, and then guitars. Obviously, well, I talked about the band did a phenomenal job of performing. So, no issue on that. My only issue is I couldn't hear the vocal, and this is her solo show. So the most important thing here is vocal, but I couldn't hear it. I don't know what it was. It could be because I was standing in a standing floor, and a lot of people were screaming and everything. But like this concert, you should mix in consideration of that as well. But I really don't know what it was. I just couldn't hear the vocal sometimes. Like Hayley's vocal, her what she can do is amazing. She has a lot. There's not that many vocalists that she can go side to side and then do such an energetic performance and um such a like wide dynamic range of notes, and even that powerful of a vocal strength compared to Hayley Williams. Um, but even with that, I just couldn't hear the vocals. She did a great job. And like the performance, it's just I can tell it was a mixing issue. Being in the shoes of an audio engineer before. Um, so I could also tell from the opener performance. I couldn't hear vocal at all sometimes. Um, so that was my only gripe. Uh, I yeah that but funny enough, I looked at some of my phone recordings of this live performances, and then you can hear her vocal better than my ears. Better than what I was able to hear during the actual concert. So that was a little interesting. I think that was because of like a little bit of compression happening. Your ears are this is going on tangent, but your ears obviously more accurate than your phone mic, but because concert environments are such a loud environment, your microphone has a limitation in dynamic range, so it's probably going to compress when it receives all these loud signal. Compress meaning like devices, there's only certain range that it can go because uh, let's say like there's 0 to 100 of capacity of recording your mic, and then if you go above 100 of its ability, you're just gonna clip, and you're not gonna hear like that capture full 100% of that thing. And anyways, I think that actually helped because the the instrument sounds were so loud compared to the vocals volume and the actual sound mixing in the air. It compressed the instrument frequency ranges. So and then it helped me listen to the vocal, which was buried if I listened to it with my bare ears. Anyways, I thought that was interesting, but yeah, I could hear Hayley's vocal so much better sometimes. Looking at my recorded videos, so this is probably the only time I'm kind of glad that I did a, little bit of extensive recording. It's just I couldn't hear vocals sometimes. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were there for just Hayley's vocal, but like it was just bad mixing. Yeah, so I don't know. My phone was able to mix or correct for the mix of the audio engineer for some reason. So that was funny. I just thought that was funny and then worth mentioning. But maybe I might considering going to the fall one just because it's a outside performance. Indoor mixing is a little bit tricky sometimes. The mic howling can also and then reflections can cause a little bit difficulties in vocals sometimes. So maybe that's why it was like that. But hopefully in the outdoor concert that's coming up, for all of her concerts, mixing situation will be a little bit better. I don't know how it was for the other concerts, but at least for my experience, that's what I felt. It was just a lot of instrument heavy. Appreciated that instrumental performance, but it's a solo tour, and a lot of audience is there for Hayley's vocal, and including myself. But she did an amazing job. When the instrument was a little bit like on the low side, for example, if it was only like acoustic guitar, drum, and bass, like the simple songs, like a folk genre song, you could hear her vocals very clearly, loud and clearly. But when it was kind of like a alternative genre, where like instruments are just going kind of heavy, I couldn't hear too much of her vocals. So that was my only gripe. But thank God my phone was able to capture that. Anyways, so that was fun fact slash one of my gripes. Um, Other than that, finally got to listen to her live. She's my favorite artist. And it was my bucket list to see. It still is my bucket list to see Paramore live, but I guess that's like, I don't know, 30% fulfilled with this live performance. Let's say 40%, because her Paramore's touring sessions were all there too. So 40%. But it was just long waited thing for me. So I was very glad to see it. Again, she's amazing at vocal. She just gets better and better. And I really liked how she delivered her purpose and soul across like this approximately 20 tracks on her album. You can definitely tell that she cared a lot, and then she paid a lot of attention on designing the tour set list, and then trying to deliver her message, and as well as the album itself. She mentions that she it was something definitely personal for her. Just kind of, I guess it kind of goes. I think I mentioned this before, but it covers in her entire career, starting from young teen, and then growing up, all the way to her current, like who she is right now. And then I guess it's just kind of delivered her passion and career, and then what this album meant to her a lot clearly throughout this concert. I guess maybe that's what that meant in terms of like entire delivery of this concert choreography. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Dawn FM a lot, more and more I think about it, because Weekend does that as well. Like he goes into this dark tunnel, and then like finally when he's out, like towards the last of that album, he kind of gets out of that dark path and then sees the light. I don't know. It's a lot of parallelism there, but or guessing, but it's always kind of fun to think about it like that. Anyways, a lot of artists kind of going through that dark path and then seeing the light, and then finally realize, like self-actualize who they are now, and then kind of be happy. So hopefully, I mean, Hayley is a very I don't know. She looked pretty happy about how this entire thing turned out. And then she's always like very kind and positive in front of her fans. Anyways, she definitely was in this performance. So I hope this album definitely turned out concert turned out what she imagined. At least for as one of her fan, and then audience, I think it delivered pretty well. And I thought this her performance on this album was definitely on point and spectacular. Would I go again? Yes. Seriously thinking about going back in October. Um, Even though it's like a kind of far back seat, it's pretty cheap, $35. And if I can hear her in a better mixing situation, yes, I think it's worth it. I can just always just crash on my friend's place. It's Friday night, so um, yeah. So this was kind of, I guess this is kind of career-defining album for her. Given that she's touring a lot now. Maybe she just missed that tour during COVID, and then didn't get really get experience to deliver what her solo career, and then her like kind of focusing on her. She missed the opportunity to deliver to the public what she means to herself as a artist. But you know, it's very it was very career defining, I would say, album. Let's say that it just covers a lot of range of things, both emotionally and musically. She so I really loved it. Um, uh, and also kind of like seeing your favorite artist like her career defining album and performance live is very lucky experience. Um, so yeah, um, I thought that was a very special moment. Anyways, I think that's it for my review. I would rate the show. My only gripe is the mixing, and it's pretty big. Let's say 7 out of 10. The most important thing is vocal, and then some of the parts I just missed the delivery of that. So, yeah, 7 maybe. So maybe I can go back in October and then fill that 3 out of 10 again. Anyways, so yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening, and if you wanna check out her live performance, there's still tickets available. I think, although it's a long seats, but you can still hear her, and she's amazing at live. So that's that's remaining tickets out there if it's in your area. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.